Hello, welcome back. This is Mary from Around the Craft Room. Well, I told you I was going to do something else with all these calendar pages I made last year. I made one each month. I did a video on it. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do something with these pages now. So my idea is to do a little memory book. And so I'm going to go through my phone and I'm going to find a picture or something that reminds me of that month and maybe a little story about what I'm doing. And I've got a couple of pictures already printed out. So for instance, like January, I've got a couple of pictures printed out. Me and my husband was playing in the snow. It snowed a lot. I think I'm going to have to look on my phone. I think this was like January, like around January 13th last year here. And then in February, I went to a Renaissance fair and I made this outfits. It was very cold then too. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a little memory book for each month. And I'm going to add this to the book. This is what I have an idea if this works. So I'm going to try to do an accordion fold binding. Now this is something new for me. I haven't really done it before. It doesn't look like it'd be very hard. So we're going to work together and see if we can do it. So what I'm thinking I'm going to need is a piece of paper that's going to have 12 accordions in it. So 12 valleys or mountains and valleys. So it may have to I may have to add more to this paper when I get it all folded. I'm thinking of like maybe a half an inch. I'll have to get on the scoreboard and score that. So I think I want to cut it approximately, let's see how much this is. So these are about it looks like 4.5 inches. So I'm going to go with about a 4-inch accordion fold. So I'm going to cut my strips in 4 inches. And then see if I can fold them every half inch. So let me get this cut, and I will go with 4 inches. So this is 4 inches right here. And that way I can get 3 cuts out of a piece of paper, right? Yeah. 1. 2, 3. Okay, so I've got my 3 cuts, and then I'm going to get my scoreboard, and then I'm going to score at every half inch all the way down. So if I need to do half inch, that's going to be pretty small. Okay, so I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go with an inch fold. Okay, we're just going to go with an inch and see what we can do. So every inch. That looks a little big, but we can always come back and half it if we need to. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And then we're just going to simply do accordion fold with this. I'll come back in with my foam folder and get them a little bit tighter folds in there. So this is what it's going to look like. So I will be able to see. The reason I wanted to pick this pretty paper is because all you're going to see when the book's made is that color right there. I think that's going to be pretty on the inside of this book. So what I do is I'll glue this one on here, and then I'll glue another piece of paper on the back of this. And then this one, like February, on here, and then another piece of paper. And then I will do my memory page on the back of this. Okay, so I'm going to go cut some paper to go with this size, just out of cardstock. and then I'll be back. Okay, I've gone and pleated all of these 1 inch, which means that they get 6 pleats. I started this one up, and so I started this one down. Does that make sense? So they'll be, so I can fit them together like this. So that way I can add more onto them, because I'm going to need 12 of them for the 12 pieces of calendar. However, I'm going to need at least a little bit more, because I forgot I actually am going to have 14, because I'm going to have a back and a front. So I have to have 14 mountains to glue onto. So I'm going to skip this first one. That's going to be the front. And so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then put these two together. So that'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I'm going to have to add this one on here, which would be 12. And then I'll just cut part of this one off. So that'll be the back side. So that will be my spine. So now I'm going to come in and glue those pieces together. Maybe not that last one. I'm going to glue these two together, and then I'm going to get ready to start gluing my pages on. So I went and cut 12 of these, and I may wonder if I need to ink them. I always like inking things, so I may go ahead and ink all of these with like vintage photo. Okay, so then I'll take this spine, and of course I want this to be the pretty side, so it's going to have to be the outside. So I'll be gluing onto the white and onto the white side. So I glue the first page on here like this. Leave this part for the cover, and then my calendar page, and then another page like this, and then another calendar page. And as I glue that on there, then I will glue this all down. Then another page, blank page, and then another calendar page, and so on. So that's how they're going to be glued on there. And then your spine is going to be this pretty color here. So that would be what the spine's going to look like. Okay, so let's get ready to start gluing this on, and then I'll come back and show you where I've got when I start gluing it all down. Okay, let me tell you where we're at now. So I've gone and inked all around these. And so I just did this with this walnut stain. Now I'm going to get ready to glue my pages in. And before I did that, I went ahead and cut my pictures apart. This is January. I did cut those down because there really was nothing on there. So this is the size that I'm kind of figuring that I would need. 2 pictures per side, 2 pictures on each page. And of course, there's not much room for two pictures of this size. So I wanted to also possibly tell a little bit about what was going on. So I think I'm going to have to go back and refigure this a little bit, because if I put 2 pictures, that's only going to leave me little tiny spots, maybe to journal about anything. It's going to be sort of a memory journal. So I wanted to be able to write something about them. So what I'm thinking now is to go and make, like, this would be the first page. This would be your second page. And then instead of gluing this page to this one, instead of gluing these pages together, what I could do is make a pocket between this, and I can put a journaling card between each one of these. So I think that would be kind of neat if I just did leave a place for a journaling card between each one of those. So now I need to go back and cut just a little a little spot in each one of these cards, and then I'll get ready to glue them down. Anyway, hang in there with me and let's see if this works. I'm going to go cut these loops, go ahead and ink around that, and then I'll start gluing the pages. Okay, so I'm taking a punch, and I'm just punching out the little finger loop in each one of these, and I just discovered something. I discovered if I put this cover down here, because I was wondering how I was going to get them all about the same, and I was like, oh, if I put this cover down here, and then I just put my paper in to the same place on each one of them, they're going to be pretty close to the same on each one. Isn't that cool? I don't know. Just, you're always discovering something new. Probably something I already knew, but didn't remember. So I just thought I'd show you that. I thought that was like, oh well. So I'm cutting a little thumb spot in each one of these cards, and then I'm going to ink them and then get ready to glue my pages in. Okay, so we're going to start gluing these down. Well, I say gluing them. I'm using some double-sided tape, but I'm not going to be able to use double-sided tape on this part, because if you put a tag in there, then it might stick to it. So I'll probably have to use glue on that. But the first one I did was have to make sure you get the first one on pretty straight and where you want it. And this one may need to be moved down just a little bit. Let me see if we can do that. Okay, so we're getting ready to start gluing these, or taping these down. I'm doing double-sided tape on here, but the first one, you want to make sure you're getting it on there pretty straight and where you want it. It's like, I'm going to try to even that up, and that's right on the line there. So I'm going to try to get these, and don't put it all the way up into the fold, because the book's got to fold up a little bit. So get it as close as you can, but not all the way into the fold. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to try to get it about there. I'm hoping that's about right. Looks like it's a little bit up there, but that's going to be all right. So the next one, which is January, what do I do with January? Here it is. So January needs to go on here like this. Okay. So I can go ahead, and I've got some double-sided tape on that one. Take that off. Come on. And put this and match it up evenly with this. This spine might not be exactly right, but as long as these match up. So I need to match this one up with this. And there's going to be a tiny bit of the spine to show, which probably would have been better if I'd had double-sided paper. So that would have made a difference, but I didn't think about that. Okay, so there's your first page. And then we move this over like this. Okay, and our second page, we're going to get like this. And we're just going to match it up like that. So I need to put a piece of double-sided tape here. And then some glue on this side. Here and down here. That way there will be a pocket in there. Then I got to match this up. So that's our first page. And that leaves us once it glues down, that leaves us a pocket in there. So, and then our second page will be like February on here like this, and then turn it over and the next page. Okay, I'm going to go glue all this down, and then I'll be back and show you what I've done. All right, I'm going to show you where I'm at right now. So I glued the first page down, then I came in and put in January. And what I'm doing is, instead of trying to match it to the spine, I'm trying to match the first page to this page to this page. So I put January down, and then I came in and did this page and I just matched it to the edge of this. I'm not really too worried about the spines because, okay, if I did this, if you did this, you would have all your pages the same size, but I made these throughout the whole year and they're a little bit off. So they're not all exactly the same size. So I'm just gonna have to go with what I've got here. So this one, I just matched to this, and the spines are gonna be a little bit different. I may come in and do something with those later. But then I've got March on here, and the same thing with that. And then I've got April. And for some reason, like I said, I probably didn't cut these all the same when I was making them. So the spines are going to be a little bit different. So this is how the book's going to look. I've still got the rest of the year to go. So I haven't figured out the cover yet. So we're going to have a cover on here. So I will get the rest of the year put together. And then we'll try to figure out what I'm going to do about a cover. Well, I've got it all glued together. Let me show you what I did. I also had to put another page because this is where I stopped, and I had to put another to make this pocket. I had to put something on the outside of this, and then I just put a strip to make the whole binding look good. And since it's an accordion fold, it would open up like that. I don't want it to pull apart, so I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. But first, I'll show you what I've got done, and then I'll tell you about the tabs here. Okay, so this is the book, and now I still have a problem with this white showing, so I may come in and put some washi tape on each one of those because they need a little bit of care. And then I've also made these for each pocket, and then I put little tabs on them. I'll show you what I did. So I made one of these, and I put ribbon on it. This is my little basket of ribbon that sets up on my bookshelf, and I had my niece gave me these, which was her mom's, very special lady. Every time I look up at this, it reminds me of this person who was so sweet. So yeah, I get excited when I find something I can actually use this in either junk journaling or scrapbooking or something like that. So I have this beautiful ribbon that I ended up putting on these tabs like this, and all the way through. So I'll put a tab in each pocket. Then I'll show you what I'm going to cover the book with. This was exciting. So the other day I got a package in the mail from Amazon, of course, and look at the inside of this. Isn't this just amazing? Oh, it's pretty sad when you don't remember what was in the package, but as a paper crafter, yeah, I was more excited about the packaging than whatever it was I was in there, because I don't even remember what we got in there. So I took a piece of that, and this is what my cover is going to be. So I took and cut a piece of that for the front and back, and then I'm just going to put 2025 on it. That's all. That's simple. That's all I'm going to put on there. So that's all I'm going to do with the front. I'm not even going to color it. I just love this so much. So also, I took this stamp block that I have that's got a handle on it. I put a piece of couple of pieces of double-sided tape on that. I took the cardboard here that I have, a piece of this, and then I put little lines on all my pockets, or all my journaling cards. And no, you're not going to be able to see all the way through it, but I don't like starting with a blank page, so you can use this sort of for lines when you're writing, or, you know, just to add something else to the page. So that's what's on the back of all of my my journaling cards that are in here. Now, the next thing I need to do is maybe find some ribbon. I got this burgundy ribbon, and I thought this might look good with the spine. So I'm going to take this. I've got a couple of pieces cut here, and I would just do one, because I would close it like this with one ribbon. But since the tabs are there, I'm going to put two. So I'm going to put this up here before I put the cover on, and glue a piece of it here, and I'm just going to loosely glue it here because I want the book to open up. So I'm going to glue a piece of it here and a piece of it here, down here. And then that's going to be long enough to make a bow. This is all going to be covered right here, but this little piece right here is going to show on the spine here. And it's also going to keep the spine held together a little bit better because it wants to open up like that. But when I put these on here and glue these down right here, it's going to hold the spine down. But again, I want it loose enough that when I open the book up, that it will give. Okay, so I'm going to take and glue these down and glue my cover on, and then I think I'm done, except for putting some numbers on the cover. So that's what I've got done so far. I'll be back to show you the finished. Okay, here it is all done. I just cut this out on the Cricut 20, 25, shadowed it a little bit, put the ribbon in there for the closure, but it also keeps the spine together. And this is our book. This is how we finished up the calendar from last year. It's got little journaling cards behind each one, and this was last year's calendar that we did a video of each month. That was a challenge for the whole year, and since I was working, I didn't have much time to do very many videos, but I plan on doing several videos for y'all this year. So this is what I plan on doing with it, is just doing some more of a scrapbook mini memory book. So I had these two here. This is the first page, which like this, I would just be putting a little bit of background behind the pictures. So I just glue these down here. I've got some double-sided tape on there. If you haven't seen me do that before with just a scrap piece of paper, and then just glue it down like that. You don't have to put it anywhere. And then take these We Are Memory Keeper edgers and then edge this like that. I think that's the 1/8 of an inch one. It's one of my favorite tools. Okay, so that's what I've done. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.